So this morning I woke up because Sunny would not let me sleep in. She woke me up at 7 and I tried to get back to sleep, but she kept waking me up till 7:30. So I finally said, okay, I'll get up.
Well, I guess this is the new trend on the vlog channel of blaming poor Sunny for just wanting some breakfast, wanting some attention, and Ken complaining in a kind of passive-aggressive way again that, I'm not allowed to sleep in. Sunny just has to be a pain in the ass and wake me up, yeah. Fuck you, Sunny. That's basically how it comes off to me. Meanwhile, he'll bug the crap out of the cats when they're trying to sleep so that he can get footage of them for his vlog channel. So, I guess it's tit for tat, eh, Ken?
We're on kilometer 4 right now, which is good. So, all of a sudden it's like super traffic, no cars. I'm like, gosh, it's vlog. No cars around, it's nice and quiet.
So instead of just keeping it nice and quiet and taking in the scenery and actually focusing on the exercise that you're filming yourself doing to give the illusion that you actually do exercise, you decide to pull out your camera so that, you can make a few bucks off of the walk that you're going on? Hey people, I don't have time to do stuff, but I have so much time to take, a mile or two walk and to lay on my fat ass in my shack or in the shackmobile and watch a movie or two every night. No, other than that, I have absolutely no time to do anything. Remember how he always says that he doesn't have time to do things? It seems like he has more time than he needs. Everything seems to be ass backwards with Ken. He has plenty of time to do all the recreational stuff that he wants to do, but not enough time to do any actual work that he should be doing.
Turn the camera on, traffic. Go figure.
And isn't it ironic? And isn't it ironic? And isn't it ironic? A little too ironic. And yeah, I really do think it figures.
Anyway, so yeah, I got up this morning, made my coffee, put a new jug of water on the carafe.
Ken, that is not a carafe. A carafe is usually a glass container with a flared lip. What you're talking about would be a water dispenser. You know, the ones that you put usually people get it in the 18-liter or 5-gallon jugs. You can get them smaller, but that is not a carafe. See, Ken knows some of these little specialty words, so he likes to sprinkle them in to make it look like he's an actual foodie, that he knows these more technical terms, and he uses them so incorrectly 95% of the time. Let's not forget, this is the man or man-child who goes around calling a fork a shovel, and who calls a spatula a spoon, and he likes to refer to little containers as buckets, and at times he's referred to his plate as a trough because he's a pig. Quit trying to look sophisticated, Ken, because it never works out well for you.
And went out, or poured my coffee, and then I went to go pet Ninja, give him his morning brushing, and went back into the kitchen. I grabbed my coffee, and as I'm leaving, I see this like line going down one of the counters where the watercraft is. I looked at it, it looked like a spider web. And then I looked at the water thing, and the whole counter's flooded. The water's going off the edge of the thing in a perfect stream right into Carol's shoes.
If you ask me, I think he was passive-aggressively pissed off at Carol. So now he's making the excuse that, as he keeps calling it, the water carafe, even though it's a dispenser and not a carafe, that he purposely made it leak into her shoes. I mean, he does have that kind of vindictive nature about him.
And into the floor, the boot tray, all over the floor, overflowed the boot tray. So, big disaster this morning, having to mop all that up. I guess there was like a pinhole or something in that jug. As soon as I turned it upside down, it started leaking, and so I had to do all that this morning. That was an unexpected job that I had to do. And once that was done, went to get all Carl's stuff. Show 12 is now, I got it to the point where Carl walked in, went through the whole show, make sure there's no screw ups or bad edits or bad sound, and went through all that, completed that job.
I gotta admit, I don't think I give a fuck.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Who the fuck cares? Who fucking cares?
And so now I'm just going out for a walk.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock.
Well, no shit.
Jesus Christ, no shit, Sherlock.
No shit, Sherlock.
No shit, Sherlock.
No shit, Sherlock.
Oh, no, that was another guy. His name was Shit Sherlock. First name, no.
No shit, Sherlock.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
So right now we're going to go back to the house, make some food, and pack up Carol's bike, take it down to Newmarket because the back brake needs to be fixed. And it's the hydraulic line, had a hole in it or a cut in it, whatever. And so I finally got the part in. So I'm going to take the bike, the part, and then Carol will have her electric bike that she loves so much. And yeah, let's go back, get some food.
We all know Ken wants to get his fat ass on television whenever possible. So I think someone should consider calling hoarders. Because look at that garage of his. It is packed to the brim with junk. Like he's got a popcorn bucket there, and Carol's bike, and all sorts of other useless shit that he never uses. Everything of theirs is packed full of useless crap. The shack is full of crap. Like, look at his office. There's literally very little space for him to move around in there. And we've all seen that the Shack-mobile looks like a death trap. And then this shed, or garage, full of useless junk. I'm fairly certain that Ken is the one responsible for this, because we see him showing off all the useless crap that he buys off of Amazon and wherever the hell else, because he just likes to spend money that he gets off of his poor, unsuspecting viewers. Well, seriously, that was some useless footage. That was over a minute to a minute and a half of him grabbing the electric bike and then bringing it to the shackmobile before he ties it down to the table. Good job, Ken, padding your crappy vlog video. Like, these are not really vlogs. These are Ken making money off of him doing his day-to-day life, where he just sits at a table looking all glum, eating and talking to himself. If you really want to see a vlog channel, Shay Carl and his Shaytards channel was actually entertaining vlog footage. That I used to watch all the time back when they did it. I was kind of one of the people that was sad when they stopped doing it on a daily basis years ago. Of course, Shay had some controversy of his own, but that was also sort of a cam girl that decided to use a somewhat A-list YouTube celebrity to try and milk him or extort him for some money. But that's besides the point. Although, Ken, you're never going to get to a Shay Carl level. You know, he made quite a few millions of dollars after his YouTube company was sold off to Disney. Just for shits and giggles, I decided to search the net worth of Ken Domik and Shay Carl. And for Ken Domik, it said that he's worth an estimated $500,000. Who knows? I guess over his career, he might have made that much off of YouTube. We all know that Carol has significantly more than that because of a partial inheritance from her parents' estate. But for Shay Carl, his net worth is anywhere from 15 million to upwards of 50 million. So as I said, he's much more successful than Ken Domik ever was on the YouTube platform.
Bike all packed.
Does anyone else notice that when Ken walks, that when he takes a step, it's so exaggerated? Like he lifts his leg up higher than he needs to. From the downward BJ angle that he uses when he's walking, it's kind of difficult to tell. But I'm assuming that it's going to look similar to like what Jack Black does in some of his movies, where he does that really exaggerated high leg lift walking that he does. Except for Ken doesn't do it quite that exaggerated because Ken can't lift his legs that high. I mean, hell, he has to use a little fold-out green step stool to get in and out of the shackmobile. I guess his knees and his legs just can't take having to step up a few more inches onto the side rail.
Let's feed.
A true foodie would know that to crack an egg, you do not do it on the side of a bowl. That is one good way to end up with small pieces of shell in your egg. You do it on a flat surface. That way, you don't have the shell being pushed inwards. And just like that, the doofus burns the butter. And because he used way too much butter, he's not really frying the eggs. He is essentially poaching the eggs in butter, in burnt butter. Because there is so much butter, that's why he didn't end up with any brown spots coming on the egg whites from the bottom that were touching the pan. There's no Maillard effect going on because of the fact that the butter is essentially poaching the egg. Like, that was at least 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of butter, which is way more than you need for 4 eggs. Oh, don't forget to add more salt on top of all the salt in the butter. Yep, that's definitely what you need, is more salt. Seriously though, Ken, how's your blood pressure these days? You know, you bought that monitor off of Amazon. You showed it in 2 videos after you incorrectly used it the first time, and in the second video, it showed that you had elevated borderline high blood pressure going on. But since then, it's never been shown again on the channel, and you've never mentioned it. That, to me, is a clear indication that you know you have high blood pressure, but you don't want to disclose that to your channel members and viewers. See what I mean? That is not frying. That is poaching. When you have frothy, burnt butter like that, that is on top and surrounding the eggs, you are not going to get the Maillard effect, which is the browning, the caramelizing from the heat of the pan. Ah, yes, who doesn't love the taste of butane in the morning? Ken is so lazy and so uneducated when it comes to cooking that he doesn't know enough to put a lid on top of the pan so that the steam that would be created would essentially cook the top of the egg whites. Instead, he goes around with this stupid butane portable torch and thinks that he's cooking the top of the eggs. It's completely unnecessary, ridiculous, and lazy. that he thinks that looks appetizing is so much proof of how much he is not a foodie. And I guess I should say that that's not really poaching the eggs, like I was saying before. He literally boiled them in butter. That is, to me, just so gross. Like, you can see all the frothy, burnt butter on top of the eggs. It looks like someone threw up on top of 4 fried eggs. If I was served that by somebody or in a restaurant, I would send it back. I would not eat that garbage. Wow, he literally had to scrape out the pan to get every little bit of butter that he could. Oh my God, Ken. You realize that that's just going to go right into your arteries. Butter is fat and sodium. It is not good for you. In massive quantities, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. Nobody would tell you to go out and just eat ample amounts of butter. It's called moderation for a reason.
Ew!
How disgusting was that? He sneezes, turns his head to the right, and does it all over the floor. He doesn't even have the common decency, even if it is his own home, to cover his nose and mouth so that he doesn't spray his snot and saliva all over the place. If you don't believe me, this slow motion video might shed some light. Researchers in a study found that sneeze droplets can travel as far as 25 feet. Ken just sprayed his literal entire kitchen with his germs. Wonder why the doofus isn't eating in his office like he usually does. Though this is some pretty sad footage, sitting in the corner of his living room at a crappy little table all by himself talking to his fucking camera.
Let's feed.
Let's feed. Who in the hell says that instead of let's eat? I wonder how long before he turns that into a sticker or magnet. I mean, hell, I'm surprised he doesn't have one for cheers.
Lots of extra butter. I like cutting my yolks out of the whites and eating the whole thing. Less mess. Lots of salt, pepper, butter, yumminess. I was thinking in my next video, I'm going to show you guys something I didn't come up with.
Well, I'm shocked. I can't believe that he admitted that he didn't come up with whatever recipe he wants to film himself making. Although something tells me he's going to alter it in some way and then take credit for something that someone else made first. That's what he does. Like, look what he did with the KDDE remix. Yeah, Ken, you basically put 3 burgers together and you think that you made an item at McDonald's. Same way that you feel that you invented the double McRib, or McRib double as you foolishly called it in your video. We all know that this is what Ken does. He steals things from other people and takes credit for it. He's done it for so many years. And then he never gives credit where credit is due. I can't think of any instances where he actually gives credit to the person. It is so rare that, as I said, I just can't think of any because he never does that.
I just wrecked that yolk, dude. Almost lost too much yolk. It's called cheese. What is it? Basically, like a carnivore cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger. So, get a pound of ground beef.
You're alright, Ken? Like, what the hell's going on with all the hand waving and the, moving both your arms around? Like, it makes you look weird. You having a little mini stroke or something? We all know that he uses jump cuts. Like, sometimes he can only get one word out before he has to make a jump cut to get the next word, and then he does it again to get the next word. I know that he, I guess, had a big hunk of bacon in his mouth, so he didn't want to speak, which is weird because he likes to speak with his mouth full of food all the time. But it also could have been that he couldn't think of what he wanted to say, so he's just flailing his arms around until he could finally get words to come out of his damn mouth.
Throw in the pan. Lots of butter. Break it up. Crumble.
See? There he's doing it yet again. And he's saying like 1 or 2 words. Get a pan. Break it up. Crumble. Like, Jesus. Learn how to communicate or something, Ken. Because this isn't good material. Even for a vlog, this is absolutely terrible. Yet you somehow think that you want a television show or some sort of web series for a company like the Food Channel or something like that. Like, I don't know where you come up with these delusions that you could actually host a food or cooking related show.
And then put, I don't know, maybe a cup of cheddar cheese. I'm hoping that's pointed at me properly.
See, this is supposed to be a recipe that he's going to follow and make. But here he is explaining it, and he has absolutely no idea what is in it. Oh, like maybe like a pound of beef, and I don't know, like a cup of cheddar cheese. Like, what? You see a recipe, but you didn't even look at what it is to make the damn dish? And so you're going to talk about it having absolutely no idea how to explain it. Congratulations, Ken. That's really great research. Really great preparation, as always.
About a cup of cheddar cheese and maybe 2 or 3 cut up pieces of bacon. You put it all in there and you mix it all up. I'm not sure if we should put heavy cream in it.
So at first I thought maybe this was going to be where he was thinking of an item that he could add to the recipe so that then he could take credit for this being his own little creation or concoction. But I went and did a little Google search, and essentially what he seems to be making is most likely a bacon cheeseburger casserole. And I've seen most of the recipes include a bunch of eggs in it, as well as some do include heavy cream or whipping cream. So if he tries to take credit, then he is a real dick. But basically it sounds like all he's making is a homemade hamburger helper without the noodles.
To make it even more gooey.
Oh yes, gooey. What everybody wants to hear, as I constantly say, about food. I definitely want to eat me some gooey cheeseburger casserole. That just sounds so appetizing to me. I know that at times we get on his case for taking a word and adding a Y to the end of it to essentially turn it into an adjective. Like when he says shrimpy or fishy when he's eating fish or shrimp. But in this instance, creamy would have actually been the best word that he could have used.
And it's kind of a cross between like a stew and a soup.
I'm sorry, but that sounds disgusting. Because if he's making something that's going to be basically ground beef and cheese and some bacon, and it's actually going to be extremely wet or soupy, then ugh.
Having your bacon pre-cooked is a time saver. Like we said before, you can cook up, our stover can cook up about 3 pounds at a time and then put it into a Tupperware container.
I gotta admit, I don't think I give a fuck.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Who the fuck cares?
Who fucking cares?
And just pick out pieces when you need it. No splatter, no mess. I'm just basically reheating it. And then you're done. Totally cut back on how long it takes to make bacon and eggs, for sure. So, I should be totally fine for the next 6 hours. It's about 11:50, 11:53. So I'm going to finish this up. I've been doing this for, I think, 5 months now. And I'm not getting tired of it, ever.
I bet you Ken's gonna have cholesterol issues, and not the good one, because there's no way that eating 4 eggs and 4 strips of bacon every day for months and months and months is going to be good for you. In addition to all the fast food that he's shoving down his throat. Again, this is Ken trying to make it seem like he's still doing the carnivore nonsense. You're not doing carnivore, Ken. So don't try and make the illusion that you're somehow being healthy when we can all see you getting fatter by the day. Ken has been in a plateau for how many weeks now? Going on saying that he's running a calorie deficit when I doubt very much that he is, because he's gaining weight, which is proof that he's not in a plateau and that he's not running a calorie deficit.
Weight loss plateaus do happen, but many times when people think they're in a weight loss plateau, they're actually not. So how do you know? First of all, are you in a calorie deficit? A lot of people are a bit confused by this. If you're not losing body fat, you are not in a calorie deficit. Let me say that again. If you're not losing body fat, you are not in a calorie deficit. And then someone will say, but I am. I calculated the numbers I need for a calorie deficit and I've been doing them. If you haven't set up your calorie deficit correctly in the first place, that could be the reason why you're not getting the results.
It's very satisfying for my taste buds, very satisfying for my stomach. My insulin levels don't go up high, very low blood sugar change.
Seriously, Ken, just shut the hell up with this weight loss word salad that you constantly do in your videos. You watch a couple of videos on YouTube, and all of a sudden you think that you know everything there is to know about weight loss or being healthy, when you don't retain a single bit of information that these videos provide. Just because you can spout out the word salad of these medical or weight loss related terms does not mean that you know how to actually put them into practice. Because it is evident by your growing gut and your triple chins coming back in oh so nicely that you do not know how to do any of it.
A nice hot meal, very quick meal, very satisfying meal. I love it. And now with all that yumminess, that's not going to go to waste. So I got my rubber spatula. Just a second, I'll go get my rubber spatula.
There she blows!
Kind of looks like Ken's wearing an adult diaper to me, just based on the shape of his pants when he gets up there. Perhaps he went from being constipated so much during the carnivore days to having incontinence issues.
I do.
There she blows!
I know this is probably going to bug a few of you.
Ah, yes, so he's admitting to gaslighting or trolling with what he's about to do. Fantastic job, Ken. That's so phenomenal of you. It's phenomenally phenomenal.
Because you're like, oh no, he's eating the grease. No, I'm eating butter.
Yeah, that doesn't make it any better, Ken. And there is also grease because you cooked your eggs in the pan that you did the bacon in, so there was bacon grease. You show me a doctor or a medical professional that says to make sure that you get every little last bit of butter off your plate. Like, what are you gonna do? Go to Red Lobster, get yourself lobster, ask for some extra butter, and then drink it like a shot? Like, I wouldn't put that past you. That is not healthy. Drinking fat like that is not a healthy act.
And butter is very, very good for you.
No, butter is not very, very good for you, you dumbass. Butter is high in fat, especially saturated fat, which is not good for the heart. That's why I've said that you are probably going to end up with high cholesterol issues. All health experts seem to agree that butter should be used sparingly and in moderation, and definitely should not be used daily. But please, you show me the person that tells you that butter is very, very good for you. And no, Paula Deen does not count. Butter is only better than margarine because that is a processed synthetic product.
And all my leftover egg yolks. And then you just spoon it in.
And he wonders why we call him a gluttonous pig. Because he does stuff like this. Just spoon it in. Spoon it down your throat, Ken. That's just gonna go straight to your heart.
Stay tuned for 6 hours of exciting football action.
Well, bye-bye, belt.
Relax, Simpson.
Homer, all those fatty, deep-fried, heavily salted snacks can't be good for your heart.
But wait, perhaps I'm being too hasty. You are highly skilled. And goofing off!
My heart is just fine. A little beer will put out that fire.
And now...
It's like dipping your lobster in butter and yumming that down.
No, absolutely no. This is not the same as dipping lobster in butter. That you are actually using as a sauce on a protein. This is you using a spatula as a spoon to scrape your plate off and pour it into your mouth. You're just being a gluttonous pig. So don't try and make it sound like this is something that should be condoned by your viewers as a healthy act.
I'm not wasting any. This is grass-fed butter, so it is the best butter you can possibly put into your body.
Not as much as you would think it does, Ken. Again, butter should be used sparingly and in moderation, which is not something that you are known to do. Grass-fed butter has some additional health benefits in the fact that it has some omega-3s, but that's because of the fact that the cows are not being fed a diet of corn or grain. It still has the same caloric value, the same fat. So for somebody that's gaining weight the way that you are, you should not be using it on a daily basis and in the quantity that you are. or licking it, literally licking it or scraping it off your plate.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a clean plate of water.
Baby all done. Baby all done. Baby all done. Baby all done. Ken is a baby and he's all done his meal and he has to give himself an award because his mother didn't love him enough, or maybe she loved him too much.
Thanks for hanging out on this video. In the next video, we'll take the bike down. We'll complete that task. We'll buy some stuff at the grocery store, and we'll get back here and make the carnivore bacon cheeseburger meal.
Who's got 2 thumbs up and is a giant doofus? Ken Domik. Seriously, pointless video. How many times over the past few months have we seen him make bacon and eggs? Probably at least a dozen times, I would guess. It's just the same boring footage on a different day. Then he sits and just gobbles it down, making all sorts of gross and disgusting noises as he eats. As I've said before, I wouldn't want to be in the same room or at the same table eating a meal with Ken Domik if I have to hear all that throat noise and all the gnashing and sounds of God knows what that's going on with his body. But what do we learn from this video? Ken has no common decency, but we already knew that. He, again, is trying to mask his gluttony by making all these assertions that what he's eating and the fact that he's scraping his plate off so that he can get all that butter into his gut is somehow healthy. It isn't. As I said, butter, whether it's grass-fed or just regular run-of-the-mill butter, is high in saturated fat and calories. Both of those are not good for you, especially if you're trying to lose weight like Ken Domik says he is. At this point, he has basically given up on the weight loss. I don't care what he says. He can go to the gym, he can take walks or make it seem like he's taking walks regularly when we honestly don't know. He's not transparent, so I would not put it past him to just lie about that. This was a completely unnecessary video, but he knew if he spent half an hour or so making a video that he threw up on his vlog channel, he would make, I don't know, $100 off of it in the end after a few months. If Ken would put as much effort into actually trying to lose weight that he does trying to make money off of YouTube, he might actually be successful in the weight loss. He hasn't really been a super successful YouTuber, because I'm sorry, but after 14 years, you should have more than 600 and whatever thousand subscribers. Most people that actually put the effort that Ken does into their channels would have been over 1 million subscribers years and years ago. Ken is so desperate to work with Steve Wallace that he has to go around lying, saying that he's going to collaborate with him and that he speaks to him on the phone all the time. He used to say the same thing about Dame, but we know that he doesn't really have anything to do with Dame over the past few years since the 2016 failure that was CraveCon. Ken simply just does not get it. Really, the only thing that he didn't do in this video was bring up something to do with needing money for repairing a vehicle. Oh, nope, sorry, I lied about that. He did mention, although he wasn't asking for money, but he has to go take Carol's e-bike down to be fixed, but he already claims that he has the part for it. But who knows? Maybe in the next video, he'll bitch about how much money it cost for the bike to actually be repaired, and then that's when he'll throw in the boo-hoo-hoo, I'm so broke and I need money, everybody. Please send me whatever you can, because I'm not gonna be able to afford to go to the keg all the time anymore if you don't. But I can't wait to see this cheeseburger or bacon cheeseburger casserole or soup or whatever the fuck it is that he's going to be making. He doesn't even know what the hell it is. But I'm sure it's going to be absolutely terrible because he can't cook worth a shit. At any rate, I appreciate you all tuning in for this video. If you could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already and you feel that I've earned that right, please click that button because that definitely helps the channel grow. But until next time, this is KDDE signing out. Have a good one, be well, and always remember, don't be like Ken.
1 pound. Actually, it'll be more than a pound. Probably a pound and a half.
The Ken Domik Dissemination Expose channel would like to take a moment to thank its loyal KDDE community builders for their support of the channel. If you would like to see the channel continue to grow and offer new and unique content, then please consider hitting that join button. With a little bit of help from a whole lot of people, the sky is the limit on what can be done to combat the scourge of YouTube that is Ken Doofus. The one thing Ken Doofus hates to see is the channel gaining members. For just $1.99 per month, you can really piss Ken Doofus off.